What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today I want to talk about something that everybody has kind of been talking about and asking me questions on the past few days. Is this event worth using the scrolls on, the resources on? Here's the thing. The best example I can do today is give you an example from last year. So I went back and I looked at, like, the Christmas event, the Chinese New Year events, all those events, and there seems to be a consensus on a lot of things, and there was a lot of disappointment because if you're like skipping an event like this and you're waiting, you're like, hey, maybe the next event's even better, maybe I should save my stuff. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and make sure you guys take 1 second, hit that subscribe button. We're like 400 subs away from 80,000. Thank you guys so much, and let's jump right into it. So first off, let's actually talk about this event and if it's worthwhile. So the main goal in this one here is to get your little freakish play dolls, aka your Chucky dolls, and you're trying to get either one of these two things for 12 Chucky dolls: a serious artifact selection chest or an essence sublimation chest. This one's really good because it does have 90,000 in it. However, it's a little more difficult to get to, mainly because you do need to have heroic scrolls. It's an event where, it is I guess I'll call it one of the premium ones for as far as events go. And yeah, you're gonna have to require to get a combination of VIP points, heroic scrolls, soul awakenings, and so forth. One route to get a bunch of points here, which would mean you spend less on your actual heroic scrolls, is doing soul awakenings. However, you need to do your soul awakening specifically, actually, where it is down here, you need to use your soul awakening specifically on Arrhenius copies. And if you can get to the 60 point, then that makes this even better, because you can do this. You can honestly spend even less, because if you're getting 30 points, you need a total of 120 points in this event. 30 points you're going to be coming from your 5-star heroes. And actually, probably a good example of this would be to go over to our free-to-play account real quick, because this is one of the situations where it's like you could potentially do something if we had a few more scrolls. Now, the first part here, if you actually hit this plus sign right here, it shows you the different things. So you get heroic scroll points, VIP points, obtain 5-star heroes, which is 30 of those points, lowering it down to only 90 you need. However, you can drop it even further down to 70 if you can do 10 soul awakenings on well, I guess you don't have to do them on Arrhenia, but if you're doing them on random heroes to get these points, you might as well try to do them on Arrhenia so that you can also potentially get a pay-to-win artifact here too. 60 points is very, very easy to get to. Like, it literally is about 10 to 12 soul awakenings with it's 10 with like the worst luck possible. Almost, it's like 12 with the worst luck possible. It's 10 or less with really good luck, especially if you hit like a C or B tier copy. That's like a fifth of the event just completed right there. But again, it has to be used on Arrhenia copies, which for earlier accounts isn't really the best to do that with. But if you can get your hands on like an essence sublimation chest, that would be amazing, because like I said, this one was really, really good. And then on top of that, it just lowers the total number of heroic scrolls you need to do. So if you're doing 20 points here, get 50 points here, that means you only have to do 700 scrolls, or do a little spending and stuff like that. So that's this event. Is it worthwhile going for? If you have more than like 1,500, maybe more than 2,000 scrolls right now, I would say dropping 900 or less on this event isn't the worst idea, honestly, because that's the next thing we're going to talk about, are the upcoming events, and how I don't want you guys to be disappointed if you skip this event and go on to the next ones. I'm just going to try to give you guys as much information as possible and let you decide what is correct for your account. So next month we have Black Friday, Thanksgiving events. We're going to go back in history a little bit, take a look at last year's events. Typically what the best value is on these events are the inexpensive cards that they offer. Typically gives really good rewards, but one thing to remember is Thanksgiving and Black Friday are typically more for spenders, both spenders currently in the game and previous spenders. You can even see we have a little chart here back in the day. There's always a ton of gem purchases based on your VIP level. Like this bottom one's VIP 13. This is way back in 2018. So like that, just remember 2018, crazy old. I think this one was like 2019, where again, you're spending tons of gems, but if you don't have the VIP level already, it is irrelevant to you. And then I think this was the current year. Yeah, I think this was last year's, where there's like stellar shards. Expect to see like probably some essence or some spiritual essence, maybe sublimation, maybe even core. I don't know. And then there was some other events in the past, like getting this black gold avatar frame. Usually, getting to like the Kiss of Ghosts was free. You'd have to spend to get to a better pay to win artifact, although they're a little more generous with pay to win artifacts nowadays. There's always a border that costs usually about $200, and yeah, there's always the carnival stuff like that where you get a different one. So like there's been 2 Black Friday frames. You've seen this was the first one that ever happened. I believe that was in 2020, and then 2021 we had this upgraded one, the black gold avatar frame. So if you already had the previous one, you would get the new frame immediately. Again, it was like $200, but if you never got a frame before, you had to go the left route, and that was like, I think it was like $400 or $500 or something. So just remember, first off, Thanksgiving, not a great event for free to play or low spenders. The next event to go over was last year's Christmas. Of course, there's always this stocking, so again, be prepared to drop some gems on Christmas event. You also had the special pack that was only purchasable. You got these every single day of the event. Actually made the event pretty easy to do, but yeah, there were some pretty premium stuff here. Again, I feel like last year's Christmas was a little bit of a letdown for a lot of people, because the year before that, I believe in 2020, it was like one of the best Christmas events we've ever had. So again, last year, a lot of people were let down in a similar situation where they're like, it wasn't that great of an event. You of course had currency tied to this. You had EOS, who was going to be the next Transcendence hero in January. Nothing really super great. Again, you had a brand new skin, but it was tied behind a package that also unlocked the other stocking in this event. And it was the typical heroic scroll event where it just didn't feel like the rewards were even that great. Like, they were good. It was the introduction, I believe, also of melodic strings, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it came out at Christmas time along with EOS. So it was an okay event, but was it that great? I feel like I remember you had to spend quite a few scrolls to get exactly what you want. However, it was nice that you could get additional scrolls every day, part of this event, because this is where we started our last free-to-play account. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I just don't want you guys to be disappointed if you miss out on an event where you really don't even have to spend that many heroic scrolls to get a good reward. But I don't also want to convince you guys that you have to go for this one, because at the end of the day, we really don't know what the other events have in store. And then beyond even Christmas, we have Chinese New Year, which again usually is in like end of January, or actually, you know what, do we actually know? Chinese New Year 2023 is on January 22nd. So yeah, that'll be for the next hero after the November one. So it won't be a Transcendence hero, but it looks like it will be in January. So we're going to have a fun-filled, packed like 3 straight months of events. And most likely is going to land on a heroic scroll event as well. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys can make some good decisions based off this information. You guys next time.